sleek, smooth, sophisticated. These are the words you can use to describe a well-designed machine. These are the words you can use to describe you. Imagine a world where you became who you thought you could be. Not who your mom thought you could be. Not who your teacher thought you could be. Not who your high school sweetheart thought you could be. Who you thought you could be. This is the life of an entrepreneur. So I can hear you saying, Dwayne, what's an entrepreneur? Don't worry, I got you. Let's start off with two things. An entrepreneur is a combination of an entrepreneur, never say never attitude, combined with an engineer's mechanics who designs things, builds things, and maintains things. In this case, your hopes and dreams. In the world of an entrepreneur, possibilities meet precision. I'm going to give you an example of one of the world's greatest entrepreneurs. His name is Henry Ford. Henry Ford started life on a family farm. He then moved on to work as a bookkeeper. He was a machinist. Henry Ford was also a engineer. He started off his life at Thomas Edison Company. So whilst he was at Thomas Edison, he decided he wanted to make motor engines. So he shopped his product around. Several wealthy business owners came to him and invested in his business. Fast forward the story, Henry Ford created one of the world's greatest business models, one of the world's greatest businesses. And at the end of it, his net worth was 188 billion. Much richer than Bill Gates today. So Henry Ford engineered his own path. So I know you're sitting there thinking, Dwayne, the only engine I know of is Thomas the Tank Engine. Don't worry, I got you. In the next few minutes, I'll explain to you how you can use entrepreneurship to power your dreams. I have a 3-step method I call the VAA. I use it to become an entrepreneur. The first step, I call it visualize. You gotta see it to be it. Whilst you're seeing it, think about it like this. When you visualize, what do you see? As a child, I saw who I wanted to become. All I spoke about was entrepreneurship. I often aspired to be like the American hip-hop moguls. Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and Russell Simmons, etc. inspired me, and I always visualized becoming a British equivalent. So I started sketching my ideas. I used many methods. I sold my designs while I was young to actually develop my visualization process. Whilst visualizing, I actually created brand concepts. So my first brand concept was something like a coffee shop. I called it Coffee with Rhythm. So that was one. I created several other concepts, stores, designs, t-shirt labels, the works. The latter is where I got my start in. Visualize. The next step in the process, you go analyze. So whilst you analyze, you gotta break it down to build it up. So whilst as a student, I actually, I like to go to bar crawls. So me and my friends used to like to go bar crawls. So we actually attended bar crawls, but they didn't play any urban music. So we saw opportunity to analyze. We analyzed. They don't play any urban music. So we decided to create our own event. We looked at the market. If we combined urban music with the same platform, maybe we could have a new product. We did it. That process of analyzation allowed us to actually develop a new event. The result was we created an event that in 2 years had actually turned over 100,000 plus pounds. It had catered to over 10,000 event goers. Analyze. The next step in the process, you got to actualize. So actualize, I'll tell you how I did it. It's the free word, actually the first word, part of the word in actualize. You have to act to actualize. Just do it like Nike. Think about it like this. I started my first business when I was 17. I never had weekends. Me and my partners used to get on, my partner had a really old, like 1980s Ford Fiesta, really old. So we used to get in there and duck, like, we were driving around in it like and ducking, like, so no one really see us. It wasn't cool, so we thought we were cool. We used to go on the motorway on it. We used to make creaky sounds. It was really scary, like really shaky. But we used to go to Leighton in it so we can get our T-shirts made. We got them made, we brought them back, and we sold it. Did quite well. We actualized. My second business, started it up straight out of university. My fashion marketing business, Trendset UK. We had no means or right to be actually doing business. It just started as something on Instagram that we thought was cool. We set ourselves targets and goals to actually create an online store, a magazine, a pop-up shop. Again, we had no rights to be in this. We had no money at all. We contacted some people that sold brands, invited them to sell with us online on a sole return policy. They accepted it, did really well. Crashed our website within our first day of release, 70,000 views in one day. Second thing, our magazine, we started it with zero budget, no money. Fast forward, it's one of the most viewed magazines of 2013, according to Issue. Our pop-up store, again, no rights to be doing it, no money at all. We had a pop-up store in Box Park. We stayed there for a month. We had a turnover of £30,000. We had a particular 2-day period where we made £15,000 in 2 days. At the time, this was a lot to us. So you have to actualize. I'm going to give you a quote. Self-actualization. Self-actualization is defined as a fulfillment or realization of who one thinks they could be. So think about it like this. One of my main actual inspirations is Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes original business was, he was actually in oil drilling. He was in oil drilling and machinery. Howard Hughes decided that he wanted to actually become a movie director. Howard Hughes became one of the most prolific movie directors of the 1920s and 30s. He created the original Scarface films. Howard Hughes decided that he wanted to become an innovative aviation man. Howard Hughes owned several of the most innovative and biggest pre-World War II aviation companies. Howard Hughes then decided he wanted to become a master in flight and break world records. He broke several. My point here is, who you become is totally a reflection of who you thought you could be. So I want you all to say it with me. Say it slowly and say it with belief. As I stand here before you, I've done many things that I didn't believe I could do. But I told myself in my heart, I could do it. I gave myself belief. So say it with me, guys. Who I become is totally a reflection of who I thought I could be. Thank you, everyone.
Dwayne.